Hello everyone, here's our final project demonstration, and this is our intro video.
Stressed, exhausted, overwhelmed, stuck, lonely, anxious. This is what we feel every day, but we might be too busy to see a therapist, or the wait time is too long. There has to be a better way. WeMind creates a safe space for clients to chat and share their feelings with people facing similar challenges under the guidance of a therapist.
WeMind incorporates a friendly chatbot providing helpful resources, and also the self-harm detector to alert any dangerous message.
Energy comes from knowing you're not alone. WeMind brings that back.
First, let's look at the market landscape. As you can see on the left, the mental health app market is massive, around $6.5 billion, and with the AI-driven segment already accounting for nearly 2 billion of that. But what's really interesting is that the competitive landscape on the right, even the biggest name like Talkspace or Doximity only capture a tiny fraction of this market. We don't see a monopoly domain in the space, so the market is still highly fragmented. This means the door is widely open for a new innovative platform to step in and capture significant market share. To understand the real-world botanist, we spoke directly to the therapists and let us see what challenge they face daily.
A lot of time we have so many cases and so many clients, and it's so common that we experience burnout. It would be good if we can have additional help. I do notice that currently there are therapists who might not be fluent in their client's culture and provide therapy and intervention based on their client's cultural background. We don't have much time to into our client's culture. Maybe an AI agent that can help us to know more about the client's cultural background and also connect us to resources.
I'm a user of Supportive, and actually I've tried a lot of similar apps before. Honestly, most of them are really hard to use and the buttons are really confusing. Or for example, like my grandma, it will be really confusing and overwhelming to use these apps.
And unfortunately, this isn't just one therapist's experience. The national data reveals a much broader challenge. This is the reality of mental health in America right now. We have over 127 million people living in the designated shortage zone. If you look at the center number, only around 27 of the national need is currently being met. The gap is over 6,400 practitioners. We simply cannot train humans fast enough to fill this gap alone. So we need a force multiplier to bridge this gap. And Jiahe will now explain how our AI act as a clinical co-pilot to do that, and start with our key innovation features.
Based on the current market analysis and the results from all the interviews, we have decided to develop these kinds of innovation features to meet the demand. For example, it's the two important features, 24-hour AI support and the AI summary. This meets the demand from the clinical overwhelmed, the burnout, and also the patient's 24-hour need. The third one is the simple use for the application surface and the easy to read for the font size. It also meets the demand for the people like who is low tech or like elder people like grandma or grandpa. After we introduce these innovation features to the therapists, they told us that the facilities were willing to pay for these kind of applications.
Our company or the private practice will pay for that.
And also, we have done a several investigation on the similar applications in the market. Although all these kind of applications have the professional oversight, the real therapists by their hand, our WeMind application has the group chat, the AI embedding with the grouping algorithm, and the red flag detector. These features help us stand out from the rest of the current market applications. And also, these are also the market's request and demand. How to build our applications. We have these three front-end, back-end, and AI aspects. Here's our system architecture and what we use for the technology stack. For the front end, we use the React and design for UI design and the WebSocket for communication. For backend, we have Python packages like Pydynamic and the Fast API for routing backend. For the database, we have the MySQL datasets. And for the AI embedding, we use Qwen 2.4, Hugging Face for sentence transformer, and Fast for knowledge embedding. And Minghua will talk about specifically how we develop this kind of novel features.
So the first feature is how we group people. So whenever a new user comes in, they will be asked to fill out a questionnaire that's gonna help us to find the similarities between different users' mental behaviors. Then we make an embedding of those answers, and the grouping process works very similar to K-means clustering actually. We find the similarity score between the new user embedding and the centroid of each existing groups will then suggest this user to the group with the highest similarity score. And of course, the similarity score has to be higher than a threshold we set up earlier. So all the grouping decision will be under the supervision of a therapist. Therapist can either approve the suggestion or decline it. And so if therapist approve, we just assign this user to the group. If therapist decline, we will show the therapist the top 5 candidates and let therapist make decision. So another important feature is to identify any dangerous message, or we call this function red flag message detector. So we have Qwen model and a system prompt. Whenever a user is about to send a message, we use this prompt to ask AI to find out if the message contains anything that could be harmful to themselves or to other people. And we set up 3 levels of dangers. So first, if the model just detect nothing, we just get a pass case. That's the first level. So for the second, for the notice, the system will be alert and will have the AI chatbot talk with the user first. And the third level, the most serious level, we will get real human therapists involved in this process. So for the RAG response system, our AI chatbot is able to have a resource intent function. So first, the chatbot will be identify if the user is having a normal message or the resource intended message. If it is a resource intended message, we will try to find the resources the user is asking for and then add those resources to the base reply. And lastly, we have the AI summary function. So the input are just the group chat history message of one user. Then we ask AI to help us to get one sentence summary of those messages and one word to describe the user's mood. So here is a demo video of a use case. At first, the new user will sign up. Then they will be asked to fill out a questionnaire that is going to help us to evaluate their mental state and find their preferred kind of group chat. Then on therapy side, therapists will receive the message about the grouping decision of this new user. They can view the decision here and also the detailed questionnaire answers of this new user. Then they can decide to accept or reject. Right now we just accept and we can see the new user is assigned. We also have a mailbox feature, so right here therapists can send direct message to the users. For users here, so in the group we can chat with other people. We also incorporate a summary function. So here, when the user clicks the button, then we'll be asked AI to help them to summarize what's happening in the group chat so they can have a clear sense of what's going on in the group chat. Another important feature is the red flag message detector. So whenever a user types something like this, something that contains dangerous message to themselves or to other person in the group chat, then the system will be alert and will have the AI chatbot talk with the user first, and also on the therapy side they will receive alarm message about what's going on. We also have AI summary features for therapists to use. Therapists can generate daily summaries of each individual user of what they said and one word to describe their mood.
After using VMind, I think grouping feature is really interesting. Like I can talk to some people who have similar situation here, and also summarize function was really helpful because even I'm not here in the chat, but I can still know what's going on in the chat in a short period. And also lastly, I think this AI agent is really important for some people who have mental issue because it can detect some negative words and report it to doctor.
And thank you for your listening. That's all of our demonstration.